Fantastic. Now, you now discover that the natural human that God made in his image, everybody is made in God's image, regardless of whether they are Christians or not. Now, the natural human that's lost the position of grace still wants joy. Am I correct? They still want joy. They are not going to, the fact that someone is not a Christian does not mean doesn't want joy, but the only problem is that they don't know what joy is. They only know what happiness is. But they know joy in their subconscious because God made them. Every human knows what joy is in their subconscious, but they don't know how to articulate it. So they articulate it as happiness. And they go after it as happiness. And we all do exactly the same, born again or not. What I'm doing in this time, these 5 days, is to reprogram your minds and my mind so that, of course, I've been doing this for longer, so it's easier for me. But what I want to do for you is reset your mind and strengthen your muscles in a way where you can begin to realize that what everybody on earth is looking for is joy, but some people call it happiness. What everybody is looking for on earth is what? Joy. But everybody calls it happiness. And so they can get happiness, but they can't get joy. So what do? They go for happiness instead because it's a bit different. Now, some people say that's semantics. Okay, I don't want you to get lost in words. Just know that I mean temporary joy. When I say happiness, I mean temporary joy. No, because we know the words. I want to use words that you are used to. That's why I use the word happiness. Just a feeling that is pleasurable, that is good. You want to feel good. Now, how do people measure this? Everybody you see on earth has something they want. If we think close, work on those things, it goes back to happiness for them. But really for us, we call it joy. So from now on, I will call it joy. From now on, I'll call it joy. So what everybody is looking for is joy and peace, right? They want joy, they want peace. But if you look deeper, you see that they also want faith, they want to be self-controlled, they want everything that God gives. How then do the natural man look for this? Because they need it too. In fact, no human can exist without seeking for that joy. Because we are made by God. And God has put it in our heart to desire that. We just have a sense that we can have that. And so what do we do to get it? What do we do to get it? What do we do to get it? That's the question. We want power. Yeah, if you are still with me, type power. We want praise. And we want pleasure. These are the three things. Power, praise, pleasure. Power, praise, pleasure. And after all of this, in order to have this, we really need to survive. So survival. So these are the three things plus survival. So because of this, we pursue these things. So we really don't pursue survival. We just react when anything wants to steal our lives or kill us or destroy us. We react. But most times we are pursuing power, praise, and pleasure when we're not Christians. And even when we become born again, we still keep searching for praise, pleasure, and power. I want to explain that. The reason why I'm taking the time to go through these things is because if we don't understand what motivates our actions, we can't really change things. What motivates us is that we want, so when you are in relationship with anyone, you want to make sure that the person praises you. Not so. If you are hanging out with me and every time I see you, I say, oh, what a beautiful woman. Oh, my. You're so beautiful. Now you begin to wonder, does he have a wife? No, so is that not you ask you, there's a problem right there. How come he's praising me so much? No, I say, no, my wife and I, we believe that you are so beautiful. You feel so good. We like that. What a handsome man. Oh, fantastic. You must be working out in the gym. You look so trim and we love praise. Everyone loves it. We want it. But why do we want praise? Why are we looking for praise? Because we want to be happy. Because we notice that when people think of us as good, it gives us a feeling that we like. So we keep going for praise. And how do we do that? We'll talk about that in a minute. We want people to look at us with admiration. Oh my, I've never seen somebody so wise. Oh, you feel so good. I've never seen someone so wise. Look at that. Anytime you speak, wisdom just pours out. Like honey, wisdom just pours out of you. You're like a sponge of wisdom. You're like a sponge of wisdom. You feel good, praise. We love it. When someone calls you all the time and say, look, I can't, you are my rock, you are my coach. I can't make any decision without calling you. I just wanted to do this. I need you, I need you to tell me what to do now. You feel good because they're praising you. We want praise. We want praise. All forms of it. We want, whenever we enter into a room, everybody knows that we came in. Not so that they can make, but you just want to, you love it. Let's say we are in a meeting of 100 people, right? 100 people, you came in. And then at the end of the meeting, nobody said anything. But at the end of the meeting, everybody came to you and said, we noticed you when you came in. You were just so wonderfully dressed. You can't enter into any place without us noticing. You feel very good. Yeah? You feel good. We want praise. We want to be celebrated for your successes. You want to be celebrated. Even when you fail, you still want to be celebrated. So you say, you tried your best. You tried your best. We know that you don't fail all the time, but this time around, you couldn't make it. You tried. Look at all the other people that were behind you. You tried your best. We are like that. We like to be praised. Why am I taking my time to explain this? Because it's important that we understand the motivations. Why are people the way they are? They are doing all these things because they want joy. And they notice that when people praise them, they feel good. They notice that when people tell them that we celebrate you, you're important to us, they feel good. Even when you make a big boo-boo, you made a big mistake, you said what you're not supposed to say, you want everyone to say, you know what? It's not your nature. You don't do that. You intended to do good and you made a mistake. You still feel good like that, right? You did wrong, but inside your heart, you were not planning to do wrong. You want everybody to judge you by your intentions, not by your actions. By your intentions, not by your actions. So praise. You want to be the center of attraction. If you are not there, they can't start. If they are not there, they don't feel. Imagine we go for a party, like a picnic. 25, 30 of us, we go for a picnic, and then we call you while at the picnic. We say you are not coming, and then at the end of the picnic, we call you back and say, you know what? It was not as fun as it could have been because you were not there. You feel good. You feel good. Say, so I was not there. It was not as fun as you wanted. Yes, we need you to always be there. If you are there, everything goes well. You feel good. And even when you make mistakes, we still say, no, we know you are making a mistake. That's not your nature. We still love you. We want you. That's what we want. Every one of us wants to have praise, but what? Without conditions. Without conditions. No conditions. Let me write no here. We want the praise without the conditions, right? You don't praise me just because you want to get something from me. You want the praise to continue. Now, also, we want what? Power. Power. How do we talk about power? I want to give you some examples of how the things we look for in power. And you may be discovering that some of these things are happening to you. There are different types of power. There's physical power, right? We want to have power. Physical power, right? That's why some men, when their wife says something, they just beat the wife up. It's power. They have strength, physical strength. They don't want so the way we want power is that we don't want anybody to be able to beat us. If anybody tries to beat us, we break his leg. We want to have power. If somebody tries to mess up with your children, you bring the cops and arrest them. You just make a phone call and things change. Power. Financial power. You go anywhere, you need anything, you buy it. Sexual power, you can control people. So power is all about control. It's about controlling others. And whenever we're able to do that, it gives us some kind of feeling of, yes, I'm okay. I'm doing well. And you discover that when you have all these powers, either sexual power, physical power or financial power, you will get a lot of praise, right? Power always attracts praise. Power attracts praise. You don't want to be controlled. You want people to depend on you for survival. You want to have a name for yourself. You don't want to be mistaken. Can you imagine you enter into the place and someone says, there was one Ade, are you the Ade? You don't feel good. Say there was one Ade, I don't know which Ade. I don't know, it might not be you, it's you. It doesn't feel good. But when they come and say, every other Ade is nothing until we see you, you are the only Ade that we recognize. Every other Ade, they are just trying to be. We know you. You feel good. They say Ade and everybody knows who the Ade is. You feel good. You want to have a name for yourself. You don't want to need anyone. You don't want to need anyone. All right? Okay, very good. Now, the last one is pleasure. All of this because we want what? Happiness or joy. We go for all of these things. Pleasure. In what ways do we measure happiness or joy in pleasure? That's the easiest one. You have chocolates, chocolates. Some people go to it and they say there's a chemical inside it that makes you feel somehow. Look, it's the taste, but you like the taste. You like the taste. Of course, the chemical is there. Yeah. Very good. We like to feel good, the pleasure, sexual pleasure, drugs, alcohol. These are all the ways that people pursue happiness. They can't do without it. We are designed to have joy. Every one of us must have joy to survive. But because there's no joy available to buy, you can't buy joy. There's only one way to get joy, is from here, God's love. And so because we can't get joy, which is God's love, what do we settle for? Happiness. And how do we get happiness? By pursuing power, praise, pleasure. And if any of these things is threatened, we try to fight for our survival. It is this that causes the problem. Because as long as you are pursuing these things, this is what you will get. You will never get this one. You won't get joy. As long as you're pursuing power, you're pursuing praise, and you're pursuing pleasure, you don't get joy. You get temporary joy, which is what I call happiness. It's conditional. It's not permanent. It's dependent on the people that are giving it to you. It's dependent on the stuff that brings it to you. It's dependent on doing more of what gives you pleasure. It's not like this one that is dependent on free gifts. Joy comes from God's love. Either it's expressed or it's received. It comes, joy, peace, and faith. This is what people want, but this is what we get. This is what we get. And so now, when we continue to pursue that, what happens is that we now choose methods to get that. We force people. So when you beat somebody, can you imagine a man that beats his wife, or a wife that beats her husband? That happens too. I've seen that happen before. A wife beat the husband, and then the reason why did the wife beat the husband? Because the husband did not do what the wife wanted. Power. Okay, why does a man cheat on his wife? A man decides to go and cheat on his wife. What is he looking for? Pleasure. Praise. The house girl is praising him so much he didn't know what happened to him. Is that what happened? The house help. So, oh my Lord, he got confused. Praise. Power also can cause it. I can control her. Everything you can think of. As you go over some of these things, think of it. We do all these things so that we can have happiness. And take note, as we are doing this, is hurting another person. Every action that we do that is not joy, that is not leading to joy, is leading to happiness, and we try to get love by force, or we buy it by force, is hurting someone. And as it's hurting that person, it's breaking that person and making them to lack more love and to keep pursuing it with these things that don't last. No matter how much money you have, you can still be empty. That's why we still see lots of billionaires divorcing. You would have thought that when they have so much money, there will be no need to divorce. No, it doesn't work that way. Because when you have money, your spouse has money too, and control is not there. You can't, power is not there as much. So there's always a breakdown. And this is what I want. And it's not in only marriage relationship, even in business relationship, even in neighbors. You're connecting to your neighbor goes ahead and kills your cat. Why? Why did the neighbor kill your cat? Because it doesn't matter. I don't know what the problem of the neighbor is. It's either he believes that he wants to have power so that your cat doesn't just come to his place anytime. Or he just wants to have a proof, feeling that I got here before you, you just moved in. Why do you bring your cat here? And just kills it. Now, when any of these hurtful things happen to us, it makes us want to because once someone does hurtful things to us, it's depriving us of joy. And so we now do something here, or survival, to get the love. And it creates a cycle that is messed up. The people are doing the things they do that hurt us because they are lacking in love, which brings joy. And so when they do those things to us, we get hurt and we do the same thing. So we create a cycle of hurt, a cycle of hurt. And we must break that cycle by going back to the source of love. Romans chapter 5, verse 5. The love of God has been poured in our hearts. That's where we get it. The love of God has been poured in our hearts. Now, I want to give you some examples of the ways we try. Now, maybe I should leave that to you as an assignment. I'll give you one, and then we'll talk about it more at another time, okay? In your own life now, you need to meditate on it a little bit. What are some things that you do when people don't love you? Maybe someone should give me some examples of things that really annoy you. Not you, annoy somebody. Something that you think annoys somebody, not necessarily you. Anything that can annoy someone. I want to use that as an example to show you what I'm trying to say and how we can begin to break out. Because now you can see that anybody that is doing something hurtful is because it lacks something. So give me an example of something that really hurts you, or not hurts you, but annoys you, irritates you, make you feel stressed. Give me something. Pet peeves. What are your pet peeves? How do you spell peeves? Yes? Anybody who's going to try? Somebody says, somebody leaving the toothpaste cap off. Toothpaste cap. Okay, why does this annoy somebody? All right. So, some people, when they see the toothpaste cap off, you go to brush your teeth and you forget to put the toothpaste cap. The moment they see, they get very angry, very angry. Why? Why do you think they get angry at you? Because you are not arranging. They want their thing in a specific way, and you refuse to fall into that. That's control, right? It's power. You are making them to lose as if they don't have any power. And what it says is that you are not considerate of them. You're not considerate of them. And because you're not considerate of them, they feel that you don't love them. And because they feel that you don't love them, they are lacking joy. That's the whole process. That's it. If someone's okay, I see someone says hair on the floor and on the counter, another says abusive word. Okay, let's use those. Somebody combs their hair or brushes their hair, and they see hair, you see hair everywhere, and it just gets you annoyed. All right, why is that getting you annoyed? It's good. The place is not. The truth is, it's good for our houses to be clean, right? But the reason why it gets us angry is because the person that put the hair there, it was not considerate of us, did not think about us, did not think about the cleanliness of the house for themselves and yourself. And because of that, once you feel that someone has refused to be considerate of you, praise is missing. That you are no more the center of the universe. They have become the center of their own universe. You are no more. They remove you from the place of the center of the universe, and then you feel bad. You say, no, I don't like that. I want to always be the center of your universe. Whenever you are doing something, you think of me, not you. Think of me. And then you get angry. That's why we get angry about hair. Now, abusive words. Someone says your head is as fat as that of a monkey, or is shaped like that of a monkey. Now, why do you get angry? when someone uses his own mouth to say to you that your head is shaped like that of a monkey. The reason is this, because praise is missing. They've taken praise from you. You want them rather to say, I've never seen a head so beautifully shaped. In fact, I want to keep your head as my phone background so that I can be looking at it. That's what you want. But they're saying that your head is ugly. They don't like it. They've removed praise from you. And once they remove praise from you, you feel bad. You want them to praise you. You want to be the center of their universe. You always want to be the one in charge. You want to be center. You want to be valued. And I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just that it's not realistic. And that's not how to get that. You can get it another way. All right. So people sit and watch you work without working with you, helping you. So you are working alone. And the same thing still happens. It's still the same thing. Every time we get stressed about what somebody else does is because their focus is not on us. Their focus is not on us. They didn't think about us. They thought only about what was concerning them. And the reason why they are not thinking about us is because they are also selfish. They are looking for love. Every one of us. So we keep hurting each other. They want you to think about them only. But we say, no, I want them. We want to think about both of us. We want the love where I love you, you love me back. No. Level 4 love has no me in it. Level 4 love is only about you. I love you because you need it. I love you because you need it. Now, you may be thinking it's unfair. Why will I just continue to love the other person and not want them to love me back? The truth is, if you want joy, there is only one way to have joy. It's through level 4 love. But if you choose to say, okay, I won't follow the rules of God, I will follow my own rules, what you will get is stress, temporary happiness. And you will discover that all the time you will continue to struggle and get angry and get angry and get angry and get, sometimes you may be, if you are powerful, you can force everybody around you to pretend as if they are okay with you, but eventually they'll fall back into their normal nature. What of a person that cheats on you, steals all your money? Because I read in that on that Facebook post, somebody said, I should have listened to my feelings. I should have listened because now I married him and he took away all my life savings, almost $250,000. Okay, what about that? What causes that? Now that guy, he was only that. She's a woman that said that he was only out for himself, wanted to get money. Money is power. He wanted power, happiness for himself. But she also was guilty of the same. She wanted something that he was giving her. She wasn't out to love him. She was out for him to love her. Many of us go after love to receive, not to give. And love, level 4 love, doesn't work like that. Level 4 love is only giving. But automatically it receives. It's a beautiful thing. You aim to give, but you automatically receive because it's a God law. It's a law that God has designed. It's a law that God has designed. When you operate in love because God wants me to, love because you need it, what you discover is that you find others that love you just because you need it. And it builds up your confidence, builds up your strength, builds up your muscle. So we're going to continue to work on this. This is, I decided to go deep here so that every one of us will realize that in order to have joy, the key is not to change your partner. Okay? The key is not to change your partner. You're not trying to get love by changing the other person. So you're not going to say, if only this guy can change, I will be happy. Now, if you think like that, there's an error and it's not going to happen. You have to go ahead and say, if only this guy can have more love. If only you can unpack your love gift and enjoy it, you will have everything you want, because that's what the scripture says. If you want joy, how do you get it? By allowing the Holy Spirit to bring it to you through love. That's where joy comes from. That's where peace comes from. That's where faith comes from. Not from your neighbor, not from your spouse. Now, the question is, okay, so are we going to let people just do anything they like to us? Just behave anyhow? You have to choose. You want to be the police of the world, or you want to be filled with joy? Choose one. You can't be both. World police, or joy. Choose one. You can't have both. As a world police, you're going to have stress. You're going to have pain. You're going to have continuous confusion. But as a person that chooses joy, what will happen is that you no longer depend on others to do anything to have your joy. You have your joy. And if they like to continue to behave anyhow, it's their loss. Not your loss, their loss. Because you are full by operating in love. When you have God, you need nothing else. When you have God, you need nothing else. But our brain tells us we need something else. We need the other person to praise us. We need the other person to be considerate of us. We need the other person to be kind to us. We need the other person to be patient with us. And if they are not patient with us, then it's not good. They should not be doing that. You come to what? World police. And world police can never be happy. You can't be world police. You have to be person that's filled with joy. So you may be finding that you have always been in this spot. This is where we are trying to remove you from. Now, some people say it's not the world. It's only my wife that I want to be police of. But the truth is, if you find a person that is complaining about his wife, check very well, he will complain about the boss. Check very well, complain about the neighbor. And if you check closely, he will going to complain about you. Right? So anybody that is trying to control one person becomes a world police. And you don't want that. You don't want to be a world police. You want to be a child of God, filled with the love of God. Now, I'm going to take some time to answer some questions before we get into the other, to the backstage. Because I know in backstage, the reason why we have backstage for this is because some of these things can be very, very personal. Very, very personal. You don't, sometimes if you open your mouth and say exactly how you're feeling, it may be personal. So we're not going to record the backstage. And in fact, I wanted to record the Zoom, but I forgot to do that. But that's all right. Facebook is recording it. There's no problem. But I want us to know that when we get into the backstage, if you have very personal questions, we'll talk about it there. And if there's any questions that are on this screen now, we can take care of it. My dear sweetie and helper, help me, if you can help me coordinate some of the questions, and then maybe you can put both of us on the screen. We can do that together if it's possible. But what I want to do is just tie all this up so that the questions, I can then answer them. I want to tie this up. And I think we started that yesterday, but I want you to think about what you're doing when you are angry at somebody. We're going to start from there tomorrow, but I want to introduce it today. When you are angry at somebody for whatever, what are you saying? You, this guy, you have made yourself the center of the universe instead of me. That's all we're saying when we're angry with somebody. That's all we're saying. You don't want somebody else to be the center. You want you to be the center. So when I shout at you, can't you see that you have poured water all over the floor? Now, why am I doing that? What am I saying? I'm saying that you poured water on the floor, and that water is going to make me trip or whatever is going to happen. Didn't you see that I'm coming, the king of the universe? Why didn't you think about me? Why did you think about yourself? You rushed to do whatever you're doing and you left water on the floor. That's what we're saying. Now, is it right for the person to leave water on the floor? No. But why am I getting angry? That's the question I'm asking you. Why am I getting angry? For me to get angry, I must think about me. And if I'm thinking about me, and the anger is not a good feeling, it's not a joyful feeling. Anger is not equal to joy. And so, if I want to have joy, I must eliminate anger. I must not think it as a bad thing, but recognize it as an alarm. Recognize that whenever anger is popping up, disappointment is popping up, all sorts of things are popping up, it's because I'm focusing on me and not the other person. Focusing on me and not the other person. If I'm going to focus on the other person, which is level 4 love, then I should have another feeling. Why did this person pour this water on the floor? Maybe they were in a hurry. What's causing them to be in a hurry? Maybe they're not disciplined. Okay, they're not disciplined. What can I do to help them to be more disciplined? It's a different feeling. When you're thinking of them, it's a very different feeling. It doesn't mean you won't correct them. It only means that you would have a different feeling and you will use that different feeling. So level 4 love is the only thing that leads to joy. Any other love leads to temporary joy, which we call happiness. If we're going to have joy, we must move away from you, from me, from thinking about me, to thinking about the other. All right. So I'm going to give you an assignment. I don't expect you to post it. The homework for today is just go ahead and write what you learned from today about you. I know many of us can say that publicly. So don't say the personal one, the one that will make you feel a little bit stressed, right? On the spot. Don't post that, but post whatever you learn. Post what you learned on the group, post what you learned. But the real assignment, post what you learned. The real assignment, though, for you is to think of, how do I try to get this happiness? What are my normal behaviors? Is it anger? Is it just trying to pursue money all the time? Why am I always looking for money? Why am I always looking for power? Think about it. And write it down. If you are bold and strong, send it to me. If you want me to look at it, it helps you. But in other case, if you don't want to send it to me, that's all right. If you have questions, ask me those questions. I'll answer my DMs. If you want to connect with me on WhatsApp, go ahead, adesobanjo.com/WhatsApp. You join the group, then you see my phone number there. You can reach out to me by WhatsApp. If you want to connect with me on Telegram, adesobanjo.com/Telegram. adesobanjo.com/Telegram. By the way, if you want to introduce this group to somebody and you can't remember it in the head, just remember adesobanjo.com/Facebook. All of that lead to ways to connect with me. So go ahead and ask those questions. Yes. Do we have questions to answer?
Yes, we do.